Hello and welcome back to our park, everyone. Ranger Ted and Ranger Joe here.
During last week's episode, we discussed the art of noticing and how paying attention to your surroundings can lead to wonderful discoveries. Well, today, we're going to take all that knowledge and put it into practice.
Take a look at the land around us. Do you ever wonder about the history of your area? In this episode, we're going to learn about the history of the land we live on and how we can be better rangers and people. We'll also explore how Indigenous people traditionally took care of the land and how learning from them can help us take care of our home today.
Absolutely. It's important to acknowledge our park is located on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. All of their flags are actually behind us right here. We're thankful for this land, and we will take care of it and each other.
We acknowledge that the land sustaining us and providing for us with the necessities of life. This territory is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and the Two-Row Wampum Treaty, which emphasizes the importance of joint stewardship, peace, and respectful relationships. As we reflect on the land, let us remember that we are all stewards of the land and each other. Today we're going to talk about all the different ways that we connect with our own heritage, as well as learn how we can be more educated on the history of the Indigenous nations who reside here.
Oh, hi Rangers.
Oh, hi Griff.
Hi, sorry, I was distracted by these really cool flags on the wall here.
No.
But I was wondering, what does history and heritage mean? I thought they were the same thing.
Well, that's a great question, Griff. Now, that's a combination of the two. Heritage and history might sound similar, but they're actually very different.
History means the study of past events. Basically, anything that people said and did in the past all became history with time. Mm-hmm. History can be millions of years old or even just a few decades.
Wait, so does that mean that anything that happens now is going to be history in the future? Like, if I pushed over this box right here, will that be in the history books?
Well, I'm not sure if that would be in the history books, but you're getting the gist of it. There's a lot of people in the world, over 8 billion, so a lot of what becomes history are the most significant events in a certain place or time.
Now, heritage, on the other hand, is a person's identity that they inherit from their family. There are many pieces that make up a person's heritage, like your ethnic background, your culture, your religious beliefs, and your traditions that have been passed down in your family through generations.
All of us are unique and might engage with our heritage in different ways. Heritage and history are also deeply connected. What happened in the past affects who we are today. I connect with my heritage in a couple different ways.
Let's hear it, let's hear it.
Well, I'm very Irish, very, very Irish. My great-grandparents emigrated to Canada when my nan, so my grandmother, was about 10 years old. Growing up, I did Irish dancing with my siblings, my sister there, and music has always been a huge part of my heritage as well and how I connect with my heritage. Music, dancing, anything like that. Wow. Also, through community gathering. When my great-grandparents moved to Hamilton from Ireland, they helped form the Hamilton Irish Club. So once a week, we visit with all the other Irish Hamiltonians and we gather and reconnect.
Ooh, I would love to visit the Hamilton Irish Club one
Please
day. That
do.
Sounds great. So in terms of my heritage, well, Ranger Ted here is Italiano. I am Italian.
Oh, I didn't know what Italiano meant.
Yeah. Italiano translates to Italian, I think. Okay. So yeah, my grandparents, my nana and my nonno, immigrated from Calabria. If you think of Italy like, a bit like a boot, because it's kind of shaped like one. Calabria is right here at the toe of the boot, so it's the most southern in Italy. And Calabria is known for its like beautiful coastal beaches and its high, tall, angular mountains. And I've visited Italy, but I've never visited Calabria, and I hope to go one day. But the thing about Italian culture that I really love and that I connect to is that Italians love family. We love being together with family. We watch soccer. That's really big in Italy. We sit down at the table and we eat various foods and we cut bread. And I think family is one of the most important things that ever. And here in the park, we kind of think of nature a bit like a family. They all share together. And I guess the other big thing about Italian culture is food. I love Italian food. It's my favorite. I think in an earlier episode I said that veal parmigiana is my favorite. And that has not changed. Yeah.
Oh, I think I get it now. Oh, can I talk about my heritage, Rangers?
Please
Absolutely.
do.
Well, kind of like Ranger Ted, I love to connect with my heritage through food. My mom and I love to cook together.
That's amazing, Griff. What's your favorite meal to cook with your mom?
Oh gosh, there's so many to choose from. I think beef Wellington and escargot.
Escargot, I think those are snails?
Yes, that's right.
Wow, I didn't know you were such a chef, Griff.
A connoisseur.
A connoisseur.
Clearly.
Wow.
Well, you have to bring it into the park for us to try.
Yes.
You got it.
I don't know about you guys, I'm getting a little bit warm in here.
Yep.
I think I might take our junior rangers outside for a walk and talk about our park's history.
That sounds like a great idea, Joe. Yeah, I guess Griff and I will be here chatting about beef Wellington.
Okay, see you in a bit.
So when it comes to the song.
Hi folks, welcome to our park. This March weather's all over the place, so I'm a little bit snowy today, but that's okay. We're under a picnic shelter, so we'll be fine. Our park has been here for a lot of years. Like I told you in the first episode, I've been visiting this park since I was a little kid. Me and my family would come here and we'd play games, we would go on adventures, things like that. Now, I get to take you guys all on adventures. But before I came to visit the park, and you guys did too, people lived on this land as well. Around the park, you'll see old buildings that look like houses. That's because they were. We have one building that was built in 1899, and people lived there until around the 50s or so, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. This rich history is an important part of our park, but the most important history of our park is the Indigenous people who lived here long before Europeans came to Canada. Indigenous people lived on the land here for thousands of years. We've talked a little bit about mine and Ted's heritage. We've talked a little bit about the park's history, but let's get to know the actual history of the park and the Indigenous people who lived here.
Hey, Ranger Ted, what's your favorite memory about spending time outdoors?
Spending time outdoors, that's a tough question. I mean, I spend a lot of time outdoors, so I have so many great ones, but I think if I had to pick just one, it would be when I was 10 years old and I was just a little guy, and I went to feed the birds, and this chickadee landed right on my shoulder, and I looked at it in the eyes, and it squawked at me, squawk, squawk, tweet, tweet, tweet. And that's when I realized I wanted to be outside in nature all the time.
Wow, that's incredible. For me, I love looking at all the different plants outside. Learning to name them and where they grow was super, super fun. When I learned I could be a park ranger when I grew up, it was all I wanted to do.
So not only are you a food connoisseur, but you're also a plant connoisseur.
That's right.
That's right. It's funny, even though we both had different interests that led us to become park rangers, we both found a shared love of the land that we live on.
And as park rangers, it's our sworn duty to help the next generation of junior rangers, like me, love and care for this beautiful land too. Maybe I'll head out and go for a walk. I'll see you later.
See you later, Griff. Enjoy.
Oh, just missed him. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late.
Oh, Ranger Joe, if you're going to set a good example for our junior rangers, you should probably be on time more often.
I know, I've just been so busy lately.
Yeah, well, getting here safely is more important than being on time, so I suppose it's fine. We were just about to talk about learning about the history in your area.
When you go to school, go to a local event like a play, or turn on an episode of our show, you'll usually hear a land acknowledgement. Many people just listen to the land acknowledgement and then go about their day. But paying attention to the land acknowledgements you hear can help you learn about the history of your area.
You know, land acknowledgements are important to help us show gratitude and respect for the Indigenous people who live here. They allow us to think about our own relationship to the land we live on. And it's important because it teaches us its history as well as our privilege to work and live here alongside Indigenous people.
So you're saying that land acknowledgements teach us history?
That's right.
Well, how do they do that?
Well, let's look at our own land acknowledgement, for example. In our show's land acknowledgement, we talk about the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and the Two-Row Wampum Treaty. We also talk about how our area is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Now, if you don't pay attention to these, they may sound like words you don't understand, but these are the names of the people that live here and the words of our history. We've acknowledged the people and treaties of where we live, but we can take our learning further and look up the history around them.
So I can ask about the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and learn about it.
Yeah, and by learning about the specific nations and treaties from the area you live in, you're able to encourage others around you to do so as well, which is the greatest gift.
So To our junior rangers listening, next time you hear a land acknowledgement, research the nations and treaties in it to learn about your own area's history.
Absolutely.
Wow, it's a beautiful day today, isn't it?
It sure is. Oh, would you look at those mountains? I would love to climb one of those mountains.
Maybe later today.
Maybe later today.
It's days like this where I'm just excited to get up and smell the fresh air and look at the sky.
I get what you mean. You know, days like today make you appreciate nature and being outside. That's why I love being a park ranger. Learning how to appreciate and take care of the land we live on is one of the most important things we can learn. Can you think of any ways to take care of the land, Joe?
Well, I know that taking care of the land is about being respectful of the things that we throw away. You know, that means keeping trash in the garbage bin, recyclable items like cardboard, cans, plastic, and glass bottles in the blue bin. And food waste going in the green bin,
Right.
the compost bin, or
Yes, yes.
Making sure that we don't litter helps keep the land that we live on clean and healthy.
That's definitely an important way to take care of the land. But there are many other ways we can practice land care, and who better to learn from than Indigenous people?
That's right. Indigenous people are the original inhabitants of this land.
Indigenous people in Canada have been taking care of the land we live on for thousands of years. Land care to Indigenous people is ongoing, and it's not just about having knowledge, it's an active process that helps people stay connected to the land.
I see. So looking at land care as an active process can be helpful for us as park rangers to connect with the land as well.
That's right. Another way we can practice land care is to respect native species and plants. Native species are best suited for growing in the area and giving back to the land. By planting native species, they attract native pollinators that help more trees and plants grow, just like these.
There are many flowers you can plant in your own garden that attract pollinators. Some examples are coneflower, goldenrod, mayflower, lupine, sunflower, and so many more.
You know your flowers.
In fact, I would encourage our junior park rangers to look up what native pollinators they should plant in their own garden.
Trees and flowers aren't just the only native plants important to our history. Many Indigenous communities once relied on the three sisters: corn, beans, and squash.
Is that why our trail is called the Three Sisters Trail?
You've got that right, Joe. Yeah, when planted together, those three crops help each other during their growth, kind of like friends, kind of like buddies. Many varieties of the Three Sisters contain important antioxidants, that is, nutrients that are important for our bodies.
Cool. I bet I could try that in my garden.
Yeah, you can grow a Three Sisters garden of your own by following these steps. Step 1, you'll need a 10-centimeter mound of soil in a location that gets plenty of sun. You might have to use a ruler to measure that out. Step 2, plant your corn first in the center of the mound, and then step 3, after the corn grows to be 15 centimeters tall, plant 4 bean seeds evenly spaced around the stalk. Then
Wow.
Step 4, a week later, plant the squash seeds around the perimeter of the mound.
That's a lot to remember, but
It is.
you plant them all together?
Yes, the idea is to plant the seeds in clusters instead of rows.
Okay.
And actually, I almost forgot, step 5.
Okay.
In late September, your very own Three Sisters garden will be ready to harvest.
Ranger Ted, I've been thinking about what you said earlier. If land care is an active process, I'm going to try it every day to think about ways that I can take care of the land that we all share.
That's the spirit, Ranger Joe. And our junior rangers should do the same. By practicing land care together, we can all respect and learn to connect with the land we live on. Taking care of the land we live on is an important aspect of truth and reconciliation. You junior park rangers have earned your land care badges. Junior rangers, have you heard of Truth and Reconciliation Day?
You might know it as Orange Shirt Day.
Yeah, and this is called Truth and Reconciliation Day. Truth and reconciliation is very important to our understanding our history as Canadians. Truth and reconciliation is meant to raise awareness of our history, specifically about residential schools and the intergenerational impacts they had on Indigenous people. Residential schools were designed by the Canadian government to separate Indigenous children from their families and communities, and many children were hurt in residential schools and some never made it back home. It's important to acknowledge the lives lost in residential schools, which is why you'll see the phrase, "Every child matters" on Orange Shirt Day.
Indigenous communities also suffered in residential schools because they were punished for practicing their cultures and speaking their languages. As a result, parts of their language and culture were lost. There are 140 federally run residential schools across Canada that operated in Canada between 1867 to 1996. That's over 100 years, wow. Which is why it's so important to learn history now, because so much of it was lost. Reconciliation is a journey between Indigenous people and Canadians to rebuild respectful relationships.
Absolutely. And we can learn history, but we also need to take action to reconcile and move forward. Wearing orange on Orange Shirt Day and looking into the history of Indigenous communities in your own areas are first steps that Canadians can take to spread awareness and educate others.
What's so special about beavers? Beavers are known as nature's favorite architects because of the homes they build called dams. They build dams by cutting down trees and using their incredibly strong and orange teeth. They change the landscape by damming up a stream to adjust the water to suit their needs. Dams create wetland habitats for other species by creating ponds. Beavers are well suited for the Canadian environment, both in water and on land. They have some pretty special features that help them in the wild. They have webbed hind feet to help them swim, and a third see-through eyelid that protects their eyes when underwater. I wish I had that, so I wouldn't have to wear goggles when swimming in the river. Aww. Well, see you next time.
During our land acknowledgement, we recognized the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations. Their ancestors arrived on the north shore of Lake Ontario at the end of the 17th century. The Mississaugas were people of the waters, and it's thought by some that their name, Mississauga, is derived from the Ojibwe word Minzazahig, meaning people living where there are mouths of many rivers. This is just a small portion of their history that I was able to learn by listening to our land acknowledgement.
Now, Joe, where did you find this information?
Well, I looked online. I looked online at the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and came across their website where they have historical tidbits, treaty lands and territories, and many more resources. One of the articles I read was by Darren Wabenga in partnership with the Waterfront Toronto for National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. It was titled Mississaugas Were People of the Water.
And although Ranger Joe found this information online, storytelling is a huge part of Indigenous tradition. According to the Indigenous Peoples Atlas of Canada, traditional Indigenous stories generally have non-linear narratives, and unlike European stories, many of them have no real beginning, middle, or end. Stories are often ongoing and can be carried over time, and the stories are layered and have multiple meanings, so people of varying ages will be left with different interpretations. And I've also learned a long time ago that Indigenous songs are also passed through word of mouth, which means that none of it's actually written down, kind of like European music is, which means that whenever you hear an Indigenous person sing a song, it's usually just something that they've heard from their families.
Wow, so they connect with their heritage through music just like I do.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's our collective responsibility to honor the land as we honor and respect those who have gone before us, those who are here, and those who have yet to come. We're grateful for the opportunity to be learning, working, and thriving on this land. Now it's time for all you junior rangers at home to research the history in your area. In doing so, you will earn your land history badge. So congratulations. You can claim your badges on our Instagram. Just make sure to check with a parent or guardian before going online. And Griff,
Yes?
I have your badges here too.
Yes!
Oh my goodness, Griff.
Does that mean I'm certified?
What a lucky day. Absolutely, yes
Almost.
it does.
You're getting there.
Okay, we're just gonna
One at a
pin those
time.
on. This is a really special day for Griff.
There's
Let's all give him a
one.
little round of applause.
Big Griff. And there's your second.
Oh, Griff, those look great on you. Very fashionable.
Gorge.
Thank you, Ranger Joe.
Gorge. Yes. Actually, Joe, why don't we take some of our own advice and go learn about the other Indigenous communities that our park is located on?
That's a great idea. We'll see you next week when we talk about how we deal with the seasonal blues and some of our favorite March activities.
Bye.
All right, let me see those badges now.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay.
I have so many.